The Simply Successful program offers stress management tools for the lifespan, so small children, adolescents, or adults can be simply successful.
Hello, I'm Deb Timmerman.
And I'm Beth Tuttle.
Welcome to the Simply Successful program.
We teach stress management skills that build resilient kids
and create successful families and thriving communities. Today our guest is Alyssa Veneklase. Welcome, Alyssa.
Thanks for having me.
Alyssa is co-owner of Goldcoast Doulas. She's a fellow diva, and you can catch her show, Ask the Doulas, right here on radiofordivas.com.
You sure can.
So for those who don't know, tell our listeners what a doula is.
Okay. So many people are still confused by the term doula, and they think we're a midwife. And to just start off on the right foot, a midwife delivers babies. We do not. So a doula in general, it's a very old Greek term, meaning a woman that serves. So it was mostly a woman serving a woman before, during, and after pregnancy. So fast forward a couple hundred years now, we have birth doulas and postpartum doulas, and that's expanded to bed rest doulas. There are grief doulas for loss. But we have bed rest doulas that support women who obviously end up on bed rest. And we're seeing more multiples clients. So a twin and especially a triplet mom will probably get put on bed rest at some point, and life still goes on. So who's going to, if you have older siblings, who's caring for them? Who's going grocery shopping? Who's bringing you to and from your doctor's appointments? Who's getting the nursery set up? Usually dad or partner is working. So that's bed rest support. And then a birth doula helps during pregnancy as a resource and gives evidence-based information and is there for physical and emotional support. And then again, during labor and delivery. So think of as emotional and physical support. We're not delivering the baby, but we're there for mom and dad. A lot of times the dad is the one in the end going, oh my God, I'm so glad we had a doula. You know, because you think dads are kind of removed from that process, or maybe they want to be involved, but their involvement isn't quite what mom wants. So the doulas could sometimes say, okay, I can tell mom's getting a little annoyed by this. Maybe we should send dad out for a coffee or, get him out of the room for a little while. But it's really physical work. Think about a mom having back labor. It's like pressure points and counter pressure and movement. And, I've had our doula, Ashley, has been described as having hands and arms of steel. Like she's just so strong, and it felt so good to have that counter pressure during contractions. So that's labor and delivery, and then they also do one postpartum visit afterwards to talk kind of about how things went, talk about the birth story, talk about their postpartum plan if they need more support, and then we have postpartum doulas who help daytime and overnight.
So a birth doula would help before the birth, during the birth, and then have a visit, and then a postpartum doula would come and do the support services after. So you might have two doulas if you choose to.
Some of our doulas do both. So we have some that do birth and postpartum. Most are one or the other. So you could have two.
So the post one could go on the journey with them well into having the child if they felt they needed it.
Yeah, we say through the first year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, most of our clients are within the first few months, especially the first few weeks when that transition is really hard. But it's nice to know that you have someone day and night.
And that's probably really important now because people are removed from their families a lot of times, and we don't have that grandma or great-grandma around to help mom after she comes home from the hospital.
Especially because Grand Rapids is growing. I think I've said this on one of our own podcasts, but we're seeing so many people moving here from out of state, even out of the country. So imagine being a young family moving here. Maybe you moved here for your partner's job and you're starting a family and you know nobody. You have no friend, maybe a couple friends, but no family, no support, and you're going this alone.
Yeah.
So that's where...
Especially if it's your first child.
Yeah.
Well, adding a baby to the family is supposed to be a really happy time in life, but many new moms and dads find that it's very stressful. And talk about some of the challenges they face in addition to not having somebody there to help them out.
I think the stress kind of begins during pregnancy and sometimes even during conception. So we assume we get off the pill, and if we don't get pregnant right away, something's wrong. Automatically, something's wrong with us. Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with my partner. So that's when the anxiety kind of begins. And then you get pregnant. And now all you're worried about is miscarriage. Because every time you Google something, it tells you there's something wrong with you, there's something wrong with your baby, all this information at our fingertips, which is sometimes great, but most of the time for new parents, just horrible. I tell them, just stay off. Just stop Googling
Google's
things.
not your friend.
No.
When you're pregnant.
So how does that contribute, all that information, to their expectation of what their birth is supposed to be like?
So there was a Time magazine article called The Goddess Myth. It was several months ago, and it talked about just that, where with the oncoming of this, women are becoming more aware and having these birth plans and these ideas and expectations, which is great, but we are setting ourselves up for failure because our expectations are so high. If I want an all-natural delivery, with this certain music playing in the background, and I go early and I end up with a C-section, and I think I'm a failure. I'm doomed. So we have to. It's fine to have a birth plan. It's fine to want certain things, but I tell clients and people my students in my classes, that this is just the beginning of having to be flexible. Once this baby arrives, nothing ever goes as expected for the next 18 years.
The super clean house and all the organization you have.
Yeah, your schedule is no longer your own, so just get used to it. Baby's going to tell you when baby wants to come, and if plans go awry, you did not fail. You did the best you could.
Beth and I do stress management education, and we talk to people about what's happening in their bodies when they're under stress. Are you finding that moms understand the implications for their baby with all the stress hormones running through their body, or is it something that you need to talk about with them?
We talk about that, but I'm not the expert like you guys. I try to make them understand, because we talk about health in general. Like, think about what you're putting on your body and what you're eating and all, baby's taking in all of this. And then we talk a little about stress and how your brain literally sends, it's kind of like sending toxins, right? Different chemicals.
Exactly.
And baby it's just like you getting a rush of adrenaline. Baby feels that. So when you're stressed, when you're angry, you might not think that you're affecting the baby, but there's actual chemical reactions taking place in your body that the baby can feel.
Yes, and it's not just the baby now in its incubating state in the mom's body, but they're finding that those stress chemicals affect that child and the development of the child's brain far beyond what's happening.
Yeah, they're kind of downloading the mom's stress and how she is coping with things. It's now their belief or their stress system when they're born. They kind of take that on.
It makes perfect sense.
So the body actually wires itself to like those stress pathways, and it creates this kind of negative neurofeedback loop. So a lot of times we'll see kids in kindergarten who mom will say to us, oh, they've been cranky since they were born. And the first question we ask them is, so what was your pregnancy like? And how stressed were you?
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the time, mom has had issues or had something happening in her life. Maybe they moved or job change.
Yeah, they could have had a death in the family. All these things they think that they're just taking on themselves, that is transporting directly to the baby.
It's amazing.
So how can a doula take stress off of parents?
So during pregnancy, like I said, let's say, mom finds out she's pregnant, calls us at 12 weeks, signs a contract, she's on from 12 weeks until she delivers that baby. She has 24/7 support from our birth doula team. She hires 2 birth doulas. So she gets a team, and that is 2 expertly trained, like all the resources and experience and background that they bring with them, this client gets. So instead of, bothering her OB or her doctor's probably not going to answer all these little questions or fears or, hey, my friend told me this, what do you think about that? And it's not necessarily giving them, oh, well, I think this. It's evidence-based resources. It's information based on, this is what a past client tried. And we do not give medical information. If there's anything they're worried about, we tell them, let's talk to your doctor. I'll come with you. We go to a lot of OB visits with clients. So it's relieving that stress during pregnancy and then during labor and delivery too. A lot of our clients will take hypnobirthing, which is a class, and I don't teach it, so Ashley could tell you better. But they don't even say the word pain. It's about releasing all the fear and anxiety that's related to the actual delivery process, but talking about ways about breathing and working through the surges and really being aware of what your body's doing. I remember when I had a contraction, and as much as it hurts, if you know that is your body communicating with your baby and your baby's on its way here, that's a whole different mindset than being like, oh my God, this hurts so bad, right? Right. And you don't focus on it. You're like, oh my God, my body is talking to my baby, and I'm going to get to meet her soon. Yeah. So it's just a mental shift. And then postpartum is probably where we see the most need for support, especially if family's not around, or maybe they do have a mother or mother-in-law that's here, but
sometimes that's good or not good.
Yep. Yes, that's why we say we offer judgment-free support. We come in and we're not going to tell you how we did things back in the day. But again, we offer evidence-based resources. We have clients who want to ask us about vaccinations, or and we do not have an opinion on the matter. That's not for us to tell anyone to do, but we can offer resources. I like in particular Dr. Sears. He's an MD. He's pro-vaccination, but he just lays it all out. Read this, you make your own decisions. And that's what we want our client. We want them to make informed decisions.
So you mentioned grocery shopping and cleaning and organizing and being there for mom to take a nap. I think sleep deprivation. I remember back when I had my first child. He's now 36, but he was 12 pounds and I was nursing, and he ate morning till night, and I was just exhausted. Sometimes I just needed a nap. Yeah. The world looks like a different place when you have sleep, doesn't it?
Yeah. I tell my client, I teach a newborn survival class, and we talk about sleep and getting it in now and trying to get on a good routine so that once baby comes, you can try to continue getting 7-8 hours of sleep a day. And then I'll tell them, right now you can't imagine like functioning on 5 hours of sleep a day. If you can get a 5-hour stretch, you will feel like king of the world. So sleep deprivation definitely enhances the sense of anxiety that parents already have. But bringing a baby home, especially for new parents, I shouldn't say that, because even I've seen more anxiety in parents who already have a 2-year-old at home, and now they're bringing a brand new baby. That's really tough. So the postpartum doulas, we're really good at sensing what that family needs at that moment. So one day we might come in and the house is a wreck, toddler's screaming, mom's in tears, maybe she's having trouble breastfeeding, so we could help her with lactation support, basic lactation support. We have a lactation consultant, for anything beyond what we can help with. But maybe it's taking baby, sending mom to, go take a shower and go take a nap. And when she comes out, even if she sleeps for an hour and baby's not crying, toddler's playing, house is picked up a little bright, it looks a little bit like it's in order, just that look on her face of, oh my gosh, like some sense of normalcy. And then maybe the next day we come in and she had a 4-hour stretch of sleep and she's feeling good. She wants to go on an outing. So we might go with her to the grocery store, or maybe go to the park and get some fresh air. It's really whatever they need in that moment. And then overnights are a whole different story. Mom's calling, who I had one the other day. This is day 163. I've been keeping track of no sleep. So I do sleep consultations as well, which is separate from postpartum, but that definitely becomes a stress factor for parents.
So tell our listeners how they can reach you to sign up for your services or get information.
Our website's probably the best place, goldcoastdoulas.com, and then we have all of our doulas, all of our services, all of our classes listed, and then information about each of those specifically.
And they can catch your radio show at what time?
Oh boy, I think it's every day at 7 or 7:30 in the morning. I should know that, right? And then we also have we convert those to podcasts as well, so they can find us on SoundCloud or iTunes. It's Ask the Doulas. And then we're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Awesome. thank you so much for joining Beth and I today. It was so fun to chat with you about what you do. Sounds like you have like the best job ever, but we think we have the best job ever. So you can catch us on radiodivas4.com. You can find our podcasts on our website, and also stress relieving tips and tools that are good for any age. Although we work primarily with kids, the stress relieving tools that are on our website work if they're 5 or you're 105. And you can find those at simplysuccessfulprogram.com/blog. Again, that's simplysuccessfulprogram.com/blog. Until next time.